I bought a parts washer, you can see behind me, and just like most things I buy, it was cheap and very rough. Here it is a Ranger, I think TS or something like that, 500. Take a look inside of this puppy. Let's open her up. We can have a good view. I pressure washed it, vacuum cleaned it, and all this kind of stuff trying to get it ready so we could work on it. There was a basket that fits in here, a big round circle basket, and it's outside. I'll show it to you real quick. So there's the basket right there, and it was torches and hammers and all kinds of stuff to get this shaft free. Here's the bearing that was with it. So now just a quick tour around the machine. This right here is the oil skimmer, and what it does is it takes the oil off the top of the water and it'll go into a bucket. It'll drip off into a bucket right here, and it's jacked up, so it needs to be fixed. All of our connections, see, are broke off. Our wiring connections are all broke off. This is broke off there. It's supposed to be hung right there, so I'm going to repair that. This motor down here, what it does is it spins our basket inside of there, and it's supposed to be hung here, and it's just dangling there. So rough. Check out our motor. This does not please the Benny. It's got a big huge gouge and dent in it. Look over here, this is nice. A big nasty hole right there, and that needs to be repaired. The worst part, I guess, is like around this door. See, there's a hole there, but this really could just be cut off and welded back. See, here's another bad spot right there. Check that out. You know, kind of rough, but guess what? If it wasn't this rough, I wouldn't be able to afford it. I bought this cord right here and a connector, whatever, welding. It's like a welding plug, because this is 220, and that way I'll be able to plug it into my 220 outlet that I use for my welder. Bolts are broke off right there. I'm going to take those out first. Yes, I know you're supposed to use some kind of cutting oil when you do this, but no, I didn't. I took the wheel off of there, off of our skimmer, but that's what that is, and I left the nut on there so you guys could see it turn. Check that out, that's awesome. So, I mean, we have one good running motor. That's good. I think this little piece right here is something to do with it, like the capacitor, like it kicks it on. Once the motor's running, it opens it up. The reason I took that motor off was to make sure the pump wasn't froze up or bearing or something behind there wasn't froze up. I installed this piece on our motor right here. That's what was broke off. Now let's kick the power on and see if it works like I don't already know. Survey says we got a runner. Now time to straighten this piece up right here where it's heavily dented. This is a before picture right there. This is the after. Is it like new? Sure, why not? It's like new now. I believe this gearbox is froze up. I think it's possible the motor still works on that. So I'm going to take the gearbox off and we'll try the motor on that one. There's grease pouring out of this thing, and that is a good sign. This is the gearbox right here. This is the motor. Surprisingly, I believe it's the motor that's froze up. The gearbox is in good shape. That, again, in my opinion, is good news. I wanted to show you guys how bad the inside of this motor was. Look, it was completely froze in there. I had to beat this part out with this socket and a hammer, and it is nastified inside. And I'm going to try and clean it up and see if it'll work. Why not? All put back together, and it's spinning now. It was froze up so solid, such bad shape. This is kind of exciting. The bearings are bad in it, but I'm not worried about that just yet. I just want to see if it's going to work or not. All wired up. I'm getting ready to hit the switch. This is exciting. My expectations, I don't have any. But if it works, it'll be awesome. Let's try it and see. Here we go. I don't know which switch is which. Not working. Could be because my timer's not turned on. Hold on here. Oh, did you see that? That's awesome. Oh, yeah. That's so awesome. Check it out. Let me zoom you in. There it is. She's kicking it, man. That is so awesome. We're getting there. So now all I have to do is put a couple bearings in that motor. They're bad. No big deal whatsoever. A new seal. Put the gearbox back on. That one's good. The skimmer motor is good. We're in good shape there. This is the before on this flap. Everything's bent up here. I'll give you a closer look. It's supposed to hinge right there. See, these are supposed to be loops. I'll fix this real quick and show you the after picture. This is why I keep old screwdrivers around. We'll call this after the repair. This is my screwdriver, what I use for a pin. I couldn't find the right size pin. Time to wire up the heating element, but I just want to check and make sure it's okay. I'm just doing a simple ohms test. And I believe the heating element is good. So I'll get it wired up. Let's see what, oh, yeah, ow. It burned my hand. Oh, there's smoke coming off of there. See it? You can't see it, barely. Heating elements are working. Next step, I gotta weld this metal right here, expanded metal onto this cage, onto this basket. As you can see, this has got a hole in it. I'm gonna weld these on, and I will explain why after I get it done. The bearing I just removed, that's a pillar block bearing. They're replaceable in these housings, or you can buy them with these housings. I'm just going to take my punch, put it in here, and twist this bearing. Whoop! Went too far. Alright, you get the point. We get it straight in there. It's raining outside, guys. We can't avoid that, can we? Our basket's all repaired. The pillar block bearing bolts inside of here, right there. That shaft will fit down there and the basket will spin. Why am I telling you not just doing it? Because we have to repair that hole right there first. You guys saw this at the beginning of the video, so I need to fix it. Then we'll set the basket in there. My patch job, quick and crude. I don't think it'll leak. And I'm going to have to do some metal work on this thing anyways. Not some, but a lot. Today I just want to see if we can get it running. The reason I welded that new piece on that basket is because this is what drives it. Just a wire wheel off of a 4-inch grinder. Hooks onto this shaft right here, like that, and there's springs on this. It keeps it pressed against that basket and spins in it. The reason for that is so that if something falls in there and it gets caught up or whatever, this will just slip instead of tearing the machine up. This will just slip around till you figure out you're hung up in there. Time for a test run. Let's see if she holds water. This is so exciting, it's taking forever. I'm like a little kid waiting on a swimming pool to fill up. A real quick test run revealed that these nozzles were clogged up. You guys probably wouldn't believe that. So if you take a close look, they're a little stopped up. I am going to remove each and every one of them down through there, clean them out, run water through the pipe, install them, and go from there. Woo! That right there should clean some parts. It's been heating up for a while. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's steam coming off of there. See it? Off of the machine, so it's warmed up. Let's check the temperature. Thermostat is set at 150. So we're up to temperature 150 degrees. This is my wife's turkey meat thermometer or something, so we're getting ready to find out whether or not she really watches my videos. This skimmer is on a timer right there, and that timer is messed up, and this thing is driving me absolutely nuts. It just keeps running. Alright, here's the parts we're putting in. This is an old case, and you can see it's all caked up with oil and nasty. Look at that. Pretty nastified. Here's a head. I just thought since I had it, we would throw that in there too. And we'll see how this stuff comes out after about 30 minutes. Alright guys, it's doing its thing. Can you see that steam coming up out of the machine? It's awesome because as crappy as these doors are, it's still sealed up. It's not sealed, but the way the doors are designed, water does not leak out of this machine. Here's our timer. It works. I have the cover for it, but I'm missing the knob and the little nut, so I just left it off. That's alright, we'll do that later. Skimmer's working very well. I need a bucket for it. That's why there's a wet spot there on the floor. It's supposed to be a bucket to catch the oil that drips out of the end of that. Our gear drive is turning our basket very well. It's amazing. I just discovered one little leak right here. It's dripping. It's just leaking past this spot right here. No big deal. We got some fine tuning to do. I'll see what I can do about that. Alright guys, I'm going to check back with you in about 30 minutes and we'll see how it did with no detergent and 150 degree water and just a bunch of sprayers. Did you guys think my weld would leak? It's not. So I got busy and it's actually been an hour and the timer works because it was turned off when I got down here, so the timer goes for a max of 1 hour. Let's see what we have in here. So that's it for the head, and not really too impressed. Not too impressive, but we didn't use any detergent either. Remember that. So this is just 150 degree water being sprayed on these parts, and that's what we have. I know this machine is capable of doing a lot better job than what we've seen here. Remember, I don't have any detergent or solvent in there. I don't think the nozzles, I think they're wore out, so we don't have the pressure, you know, that stinging hard pressure like we should have on it. I'm going to keep working on it. It's still got a little ways to go, fine tuning. Not that I'm proud of it, but you guys need to see this mess I have here everywhere in this garage. I mean, there is stuff just everywhere. It was a struggle trying to get this video up for you guys, and I have such of a mess to clean up. Uh-oh. We got a couple motorbikes. That'll be in a later video. But I need to get this place cleaned up. It's awful. Look over here, guys. I mean, this is terrible. Stuff everywhere. Everywhere. For those of you who are curious, the parts washer cost me 300 bucks, and I put maybe $100 in it so far. It still needs more work. I want it up and running perfectly so it saves me time when it comes to cleaning all these parts up.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.